All right, today on the Janis show, I want to talk about right to work. You have a right to go to work if you want to. You have a right to stay home and do nothing if you want to, if you can afford to keep a home or live with somebody. But right to work does not mean you have a right, an actual right to have a job. There is no law forcing anybody or anything to hire you. So the name right to work in itself is very misleading. But you do have a right to get paid when you go to work. And the federal government sets that with a minimum wage, which by today's standards, if you're working full time, if you're lucky enough to have full time instead of just a couple hours a week, 20 or 30 hours, then that full-time pay still isn't enough to provide an actual living for anybody. Even if you live on your own, you can't afford a car insurance, which is mandated by the state that you live in to have if you have a vehicle, or health insurance, which is now mandated, of course, by the federal government through the Affordable Care Act. Nobody can survive on this wage. So your right to work is not a right to work for a living. It's a right to work for the cheapest possible amount a company can pay you. And that's the problem with right to work. Some people believe if I go to work and I do a good job, the boss is going to see I'm going to do a good job, or the owner, or whoever it may be, and they're going to want to keep me around and give me a pay raise. That is a great attitude to have. There is nothing wrong with that attitude, except it's fiction. That is not the way corporate America treats its employees any longer. They treat it as, we gave you a job, be happy we gave you a job, because somebody behind you in line in this stack of applications will do the same job you're doing for half of what we're paying you. So we don't really see you as a benefit any longer, because your pay is greater than we can train somebody else to do your job. And that is where the problem really begins. People accept this. They think it is the normal because it has become the normal. We have allowed them, the larger corporations, to mandate this theory and pass it down the line to their employees. And small business owners have picked up on it and said, if the big companies are doing it, we can do it too. So whether you're working for a large company or just a mom and pop company, these things have been happening way too often. They have been replacing skilled, higher paid workers with less skilled, lower paid workers, all in the name of profits. Not because they want to better their product or reinvest money into better their product, because they're not reinvesting the money, they're hoarding it. And that's an entire different show on the hoarding of money. One of the reasons taxes was created in the first place, so that people don't hoard money. But now these companies are hoarding money instead of making the product better or even reducing the cost of the product to the consumer because they're paying a lower wage. Now, I can go on and branch out on different versions of this, but the simple fact is, without strong unionization by the workers, the entire workforce, on every broad category, without the people standing up for themselves, saying you're taking too much, they will continue to do it. There will be no recourse. There will be absolutely nothing that anybody can do about it, because we will all become slaves to corporate America. I know it's a little harsh, but it is what comes out of it. We will be hiring less skilled, cheaper workforce, even younger. We saw it in the 2012 election races where Newt Gingrich was advocating hiring children so that they could sweep the floors in schools or clean up the cafeteria or whatever it may be. Sure, implementing good work ethics in children is a great idea, but hiring them to do jobs through corporate America is not the correct route. And thank you, America, for shunning that and pushing him aside and that ideology. We don't need it. We don't want it. It was a step in the right direction by saying no. What we need is more people to stand up and say no. Not say, I'm just so happy to have a job. Quit. If you could talk everybody at your employer into quitting for a week, call it a strike. Call it a walkout. Call it whatever you want to call it. Just don't go to work for minimum wage or near minimum wage. So if you're making $7.85 an hour, or let's say $9 an hour, that still is not enough. You know it's not enough. Where are you going in your life with $9 an hour? Stepping stones, wonderful. If your job is a stepping stone or helping you support another goal, that is one thing. But if you are trying to survive off your job, and your job isn't allowing you to survive because of the low pay, you need to stop. You need to tell them enough. Everybody needs to get together and say enough. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Enough is enough. Doesn't matter if you're a liberal or you just simply don't care about politics. You should care about the direction your life is going in. You should have a want as a human being to want more. Not to be jealous and try to take it from others, but to say what is fair. You should have that say. You should stand up for that say. Support the people, the workers that are right now walking out in fast food strikes or minimum wage job strikes, and say enough. Walmart workers, the largest single employer in the United States, has separated their little individual stores so that the workers cannot unite. Now, you have a few perks working at Walmart, I'm sure you do, or you wouldn't keep working there, would you? But look around. Look at how people are getting to work. Look at how your coworkers are living. You have husband and wife sometimes both together working at Walmart. Children staying with grandma, that's cool. Babysitters are needed. Walmart's not stepping up and putting in a daycare for their employees. Many other companies do that. Walmart is making the hugest profits ever. And there's nothing wrong with the word profit. I'm in business. I like to make a profit. I like to make more than I need to live on. And that's still a problem. People are not making more than they need to live on. They are living less. They are reducing the quality of life for Americans. And we have to take it back. We have to take it back. You need to go out today and talk to people about this. Keep the topic alive. Make it live for itself. Make it become a reality by going out there, making friends, joining together for a common cause to make a living wage for everybody who works. I'm not talking about taking from the rich and distributing it to the poor. I'm talking about getting paid a decent value. If they're going to raise prices while cutting the cost of producing that product, the only common denominator that needs to happen is either reduce the prices or raise the wages of the workers so that they can be afforded by the people. That's what has to happen. It would be great for them both to happen. But I'll be happy if we just start raising the wages where it needs to go. That's your mission. Get out there. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Janis Show. See you again tomorrow.